The Kardashian curse.
Yes, fam.
This is the end of an era for this family.
They're like losing their influence.
I believe Kim Kardashian cursed herself by wearing Marilyn Monroe's dress.
Wait, they are no longer relatable. There is nothing relatable about Kylie Jenner posting her $30 million wardrobe closet.
Is this their downfall?
What is this?
That is Marilyn's hair. So.
Oh my god, I'm literally going to do some crazy voodoo shit that I learned one way. And I channel her.
It's the night after the Met Gala 2022. Kim Kardashian is asleep at home. All is quiet in the house. But something stirs her. She wakes up feeling somewhat disturbed. A bad dream, no doubt. It has to be. But she can't quite remember. Must be a bad dream. She takes a look at the clock and it reads 3 a.m. She turns around, pulling her duvet close, closes her eyes, trying to get back to sleep. Something is not right. It's uneasy. Then she hears something. Something deep in her ear, as if someone is whispering right over her head, but she can't quite understand what it's saying. She lifts herself up in a jolt, tries to compose herself. That's when she sees it. At the end of her room, in the corner, a figure. More beautiful than she could ever imagine, yet terrifying. Everything is quiet and yet it seems so loud. The figure begins to creep closer to her. As it does, she hears the voice again, but this time she starts to understand. It's not talking at all, it's singing. Happy birthday, Mr. President. Happy birthday, Mr. President. It's quiet at first, but as the figure gets closer, the singing gets louder, it gets angrier, it gets more deranged. It's now screaming the words at her. Happy birthday, Mr. President. Happy birthday, Mr. President. Now she can see it clearer than ever. This is not just any figure, this is Marilyn Monroe. As Kim quickly moves to turn on the light at the end of her bed, the figure disappears. Since that night, she never sees the figure again, but the voice of Marilyn rings inside her ear. You'll never be idolized like me. You're not as beautiful as you once were. You're aging, irrelevant, ugly, fat, doubts. Every time she's alone, doubts. Every time she looks in the mirror and prepares for an event, doubts. The thoughts of Marilyn Monroe echoing through her mind, causing her to become frantic, to try too hard, trying to be relevant, trying to be popular. As the Jenners become more popular, she can't help but fill her head with jealousy. Her energy becomes negative, she becomes disturbed, she becomes more Marilyn. So, did I scare you? Now, just a little update for those who don't know about Kim Kardashian wearing the Marilyn Monroe dress. Feel free to pause this video and have a little Google. I'm not going to focus on that too much because it's pretty common knowledge. What I will add to it though is something that is equally as strange. So whilst Kim Kardashian was at Ripley's to pose in the original dress for the photo, that's who she got the dress from, the owners of this esteemed establishment gifted Kim Kardashian a lock of Marilyn Monroe's hair. You can see her in this video receiving it when she says, "Thank you so much, this is so cool, wow, this is sleeping with me every night." Now it is worth noting, a lot of people believe this hair to be fake. There are inconsistencies to where they actually got the hair from. So it's not confirmed that it's real. Either way, she's worn a dead girl's dress and she's sleeping with a dead girl's hair. The whole thing's a little bit weird. It's a little bit spooky. But even more spooky is just how much Kim is seemingly obsessed with Marilyn Monroe. I mean, she's everything Kim Kardashian aspires to be. A beauty icon, loved by all, respected, living long after death in the history books, museums and pop culture. But the thing is, Marilyn was very disturbed. And more recently, people have started to notice that Kim's relevance has been slipping, and the Kardashians' popularity in general has been on a downward trajectory. Keen-eyed people will have noticed that you can pinpoint this exact moment that the Kardashians began to lose their edge. And that moment? That was the 2022 Met Gala, after Kim wore Marilyn Monroe's dress, leading a few people to speculate that Kim Kardashian could be very well cursed by Marilyn Monroe. By her wearing that dress, she has cursed herself and she is haunted by the ghost of Marilyn Monroe. So let's dig more into this Marilyn curse. So Marilyn's life went into turmoil after wearing that dress. Anyone who's watched Blonde, by the way, how amazing was Anna in that? That film it was an alright film. I rated it, but her performance in it as Marilyn was crazy good. Crazy. Point being, anyone who's watched it will be well versed in the life of Marilyn Monroe and will be aware that she suffered a lot throughout her life. But the one thing that really accelerated this turmoil was the affair and the love entanglement with the Kennedy brothers. It's also worth noting that there is a whole lot of speculation that the Kennedys actually had Marilyn Monroe killed, which does sound like a load of conspiracy codswallop, but it's actually got a load of good reasoning behind it. It's very convincing. Now, this entanglement really started when she first wore that dress. She wore that dress to sing "Happy Birthday, Mr. President," leading to a few people to think that the dress is cursed because of how badly her life went after she wore the dress. So there's already speculation around the dress being cursed. Megan Fox actually got a tattoo in homage to Marilyn Monroe, but later removed it to cleanse her own negative energy. She explained, "I'm removing it. She was a negative person. She was disturbed. I do not want to attract this kind of negative energy in my life." But let's go back to the dress. So according to page 6, Marilyn's dress was so delicate that it had to be stored in a temperature, light and humidity controlled vault, and that Kim Kardashian is the only person to ever wear it besides Marilyn Monroe. Clothing that's that old is valuable. It needs to be treated in a certain way to be able to retain the quality. Allegedly, since Kim wore it, the garment now has a damaged zipper, shredded fabric by its hooks, it's got stress on the shoulder straps, and is missing beads and sequins, which has led to a load of backlash, saying that Kim Kardashian has basically ruined this historical artifact in fashion for her own vanity. In fact, Bob Mackie, who was the fashion designer who drew the sketch for the original dress, said that Kim Kardashian was making a big mistake. He told Entertainment Weekly, "I thought it was a big mistake. Marilyn was a goddess, a crazy goddess, but a goddess. She was just fabulous. Nobody photographs like that, and it was done for her. The dress was designed for her. Nobody else should be seen in that dress." So it's not just that she may have ruined the dress, but it's that she should have never worn it in the beginning, that it was disrespectful from the moment she conceived this wild idea. To me, it reads less like, "Look at the beautiful dress," and more like, "Look at me. You all love Marilyn, and I'm just the same. You should love me too." Since that moment, the Kardashians have been on a decline. 2022 seen the worst PR year ever for the family. Pretty much every Kardashian has seen some form of backlash in one way or another. They've lost all aspect of relatability, so fans just aren't connecting with them the way they once were. Not that they was ever relatable, but now more than ever, they're so far from being relatable. Just take a look at Kim Kardashian on TikTok. She's desperately trying to hang on to whatever relevancy she holds. So is she actually cursed by Marilyn Monroe? Or is it a lot more simple than that? Is it just that the backlash from wearing the dress, the controversy, was just something that they've not been able to recover from? Was that just a signifier of the start of the end? What I find very interesting is, as a cherry on top of this Kim Kardashian cake of a story, I like to end with some unconfirmed gossip, which is that none of the Kardashians have been invited to this year's Met Gala, which is obviously a who's who of the industry, from entertainment to fashion, and it seems like Anna Wintour doesn't see the Kardashians fitting in that.